MightyKeef. Monster Hunter Wilds has absorbed my life in ways I did not realize would happen. Me and my boys, no life did. Talking about the entire weekend. My friends took off work. I recorded videos because this is my work. And we just went balls to the wall, playing, fighting, going through the story mode, going to high rank. Guys, this video is about a tier list, right? And I'm going to be ranking the monsters in Monster Hunter Wild, and we're going to be doing basically how, the fight, which is the most important, but then we'll have a little scale for their intro / aura points, right? So a monster could have a fun fight but trash aura, and vice versa. They could have a bad fight but good aura, and that could help them out. So let's just start with the first. It's in order, right? This right here. It's in order from the Chotacabra to the Arcfold, right? I'm gonna butcher some of these people. I always butcher Monster Hunter names, but we're gonna start with the Chotacabra, man. We're gonna start with the Chotacabra. Stop playing with me. Now I get it. What is going on? Why would you do that? Listen. Though the Chotacabra is the easiest monster in the game, it comes with the fundamental necessity of every Monster Hunter game. You know that monster you just bully. The monster that you just, I've been playing Longsword for 30 hours. I want to try Charge Blade now, but doing it just on training is something. Then I want to go into the open world and actually do it on a monster. Who do you go to? You go to the Chotacabra, because that is something that is just one level higher than the training dummy, and enough for you to kind of start your ascension into knowing how to play that weapon. Not only that, farming him is so useful because then you can trade his stuff for very useful things like ores that you can then use for your artisan weapons. All right, and even though again the fight is he's D. I'm sorry. Yeah, he sucks. He does suck. I tried my best to amp him up, but the fight sucks, right? It is necessary though. He's very telegraphed. He's very slow. He doesn't hit hard. He's very necessary, and I think that's very important. However, aura trash, fight trash. He's in D. I tried Chata. I really did. This is exactly what I was explaining earlier, where it's aura. Fight sucks. Maybe sucks is a different word. Okay. He's very slow. He's very easy, but he looks like he'd be more menacing. It's a fire rooster. It's a large T-Rex fire rooster, right? With the Devil Joe tail whip, and you want it to be better. Did I say Devil Joe? I meant Glavenus. Not as sinister as Glavenus, but a Glavenus tail whip. Aura is insane. The aura of this chicken is insane. The fight is not that crazy. He has good moves though. Like the Chotacabra, they're telegraphed. Nothing's ambiguous. Nothing's convoluted. They're fun fights. But I think his aura is what puts him into C. Lalabarina. Now Lalabarina has aura, and the fight is fun. She literally dances with you, and I do understand if you're using something like Lance or Greatsword, maybe not Greatsword as much because you're kind of unsheathing and sheathing a lot with that anyway, because you're kind of hit and run with Greatsword. If you're playing a more sword weapon, I could see why trying to catch her every time sucks, but I think for the majority of weapons, it is a fun, right? She's dancing with you, and it's like you're dancing yourself in the fight, and it's cool. You have to dodge the little paralysis, the way the character looks. I think it was a very good inclusion to the game. I like the way it messes with the environment, right? Kind of making the water red and stuff like that. That was actually pretty fire. I really enjoyed that. I'm gonna put Lalabarina at B. Congalala is an old monster, or a returning monster, excuse me. He farts on you, stinks. You have to get the deodorant or whatever, or as a cleanser, to be able to use items again. which can be troublesome, right? But it just sucks because he's always around like the smaller versions of him, the smaller monkeys, and it's just like, oh my god, go away, please. I think Kongalala does have. Kongalala is the fight wasn't like the greatest, and he doesn't do anything super cool, but he has aura, and I like Kongalala. I like the fact that it's funny he farts on you, but I'm putting him in C just because. Balara. You're very typical sandworm, right? Tremors. He digs into the sand. He does attacks. He doesn't really do anything though. There's nothing too special. It's kind of cool to interact with the environment when he goes on his little pillars and you got to bring him down and stuff like that. That's cool, and that is scripted. Like I think you always go into that, and that I think just off that alone. I'm gonna put him in C because I was gonna put him in D, but the fact that you're probably always gonna be at least doing some type of cool environment interaction, I'll put him in C. Doshiguma. This is like the brute force monster, right? The one that's like you see him, and he is, I guess, I think he's on the cover art of some stuff, so he's almost like co-flagship for this series. And for good reason, man. I really liked fighting him. I'm gonna be honest. He was bulky. He was tough. He was kind of like that bear, that burr. I'm putting him in A. Right? I'm putting him in A. He was the best fight up until now. Duna was cool because it was like this weird jumping thing. I like the presentation of Duna coming in. This was like our first Apex that we fought. I also really liked at the very end, the last phase of fighting them. There's like this, it's a very minor raid mechanic, I guess, but you have to like dodge the water and stuff like that. I thought that was cool. We're going to put him in A as well. Ufduna was actually pretty sick. Rompopolo, this is one of those things where the fight is actually pretty cool. Everything's kind of easy, but it's cool. It's like, yo, this dude is like bursting poison from the ground and I gotta dodge it. He's not very hard. I would love to see like a Guardian version of him or something more active or crazy. But I'll get into that in like my review of Wilds. Right? I just think everything needs to be dialed up a little bit higher in terms of difficulty. But they did what they, 8 million in 3 days. Look, Capcom don't need to listen to me. 8 million in 3 days. Capcom don't need to listen to nothing I got to say. But Ron Popolo as a fight was cool, and he looks kind of weird. He has that mask, right, where it's kind of like that old doctor from like the Black Plague days. I'm putting him in B. For sure. Raid Dao. Raid Dao has aura out the max. This was actually the most. As of this time in the story, this is the most aura of the monsters. Might even be the most aura of all the monsters, if we being honest. I mean, he has a railgun for a head, my boy. A railgun. He's here to blast people, and that was really cool. I love how he interacts with the environment around you because of his presence. A man's presence creates thunder, lightning everywhere. Everyone fears. Well, everyone except Artful. But Raid Dao also as a fight was really fun. It was very cinematic. It was very fun. Everything was telegraphed. He's going to S. Our first S is Raid Dao. Nursilla is actually an old Pokemon. What did I just say? Nursilla is actually an old monster. Funny enough, I don't think I fought Nursilla except in the Monster Hunter stories. Played Monster Hunter Stories, and I believe Nursilla was in that. I confused this for the spider that is in Monster Hunter Rise, which is like the Ratakai or something like that. I knew Nursilla prior to this game, but I think it's because of Monster Hunter Stories. I don't think I've ever fought Nursilla until this game. I played on the PSP. I think that was Monster Hunter Freedom Unite 2, whichever one. And then I did not play again until Monster Hunter Generations for the 3DS. The thing is, I only had that game for a week. I was not in a Monster Hunter life. I wasn't in a Monster Hunter period time frame. I think I was into like, I don't know. I was just not into Monster Hunter at that time. So I kind of returned it. I played Generations for a week, and I think during that week I only played it for like 4 hours. So I didn't even, I mean, honestly didn't play it. It wasn't until Generations Ultimate came out on the Switch, I bought it. It's funny, it came out in 2018. I bought it maybe 2020 or 20, because because I was like, okay. No, I had Rise in 2020, so I didn't buy it until like 2022, maybe 2023. Didn't play it until this year. All because of Monster Hunter Wilds. Had such a Monster Hunter itch because of Wilds. I went and played Generations Ultimate, which might dead ass be the best Monster Hunter game I've ever played in my life. Anyways, Nursilla was fun. Nothing too crazy though, I'm gonna be honest. Nursilla wasn't anything too crazy. I don't like this at all. What her Bonnie? I don't even, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, bro. If there was like an F, I could put this in. Can I put this in F, bro? I hated this. This is so boring. This is so boring. It simply doesn't do anything. It's just up there. It's hard to hit. You know what I mean? And then you hit the tail. It was just boring. The only time it was actually like end up somewhat cool is when you fight it with the Jin-Dahad, right? They go and jump him at one point. That was the coolest thing this thing ever did. This is the worst monster I've ever fought in my life. The thing sucks. Don't even play with me, bro. This guy was so godlike. Aura, godlike. This is like mini Rajang, right? This was like fire Rajang, damn near. Not anywhere near as like troublesome. But Aura to the max. The fights are really fun. I mean, it's really aggressive. It's a brute force. It's the fight was really. I just like it. I just really enjoyed it. I like that he does this crazy thing where he's like turns into Sonic the Hedgehog on the ground, jumps up and then just shoulder dives into you. That was clean. I really enjoyed it. Then we go to our next Apex, which I think is, yeah. All right, New Udra, S tier. Putting it in S tier. I love the fight. It's a fire octopus, and the intro was Aura. He was Aura farming in his intro, bro. Which is what you're supposed to do. It's your intro. But his Aura farm was to the max. I mean, he's grabbing the Jarkin. You know what I mean? Oh, by the way, this where they are on each tier list has no bearing on anything. If they're in the S tier, they're all S tier. If they're in the A tier, they're all A tier. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm saying Doshiguma is better than Ufduna or anything like that. But New Udra, and this is our first time having something like this. This was our first fight with like an octopus in Monster Hunter. Usually it doesn't have skeletons like that. So this was this is for the culture, right? This is a shift. This is a monumental shift in the game. Not just that, but it's a fire octopus. Do I have to say it again? This was godlike. Guardian, Doshiguma. Really good. I'm gonna be honest, bro. He didn't do too much different than regular Doshiguma. He was tankier. He hit harder. I think he had more radius on his hits. He had better aura because he's glowing and he's like glowing white, like he's Ultra Instinct, right? I don't know if that's enough to put him in S. I don't know if that's enough to put him in S though. I really don't. Rathalos is always going to be that high tier one, right? I don't know if he's S. I don't know. They gave Rathalos some new moves in this one. The Guardian version has new. Oh man, I'm putting him in S. I'm putting him in S because it's also a change. Rathalos, like Ken and Ryu, have been the same thing for years. Now they got something different. Now, you know how long people have wanted that mule kick for Ryu? You know how long people wanted Ken to be different? You know how long I wanted Rathalos to be different. Guardian Rathalos is a different fight, and I actually enjoyed it a lot. And I have to give him credit. That's the first time I died. First and only time I died in story was to Guardian Rathalos. First and only time I died. Jin-Dahad. This is hard because like he's almost like a raid boss. You know what I mean? But I'm going to be honest, and I might get some slack from the monster, like the die hard Monster Hunter community. I think he takes too long for what he is. And what I mean by that is like all the other fights in Monster Hunter are very short in comparison to previous Monster Hunters. You average around 7 to 9 minutes on a fight in Monster Hunter Wilds, whereas like you usually would do like anywhere from I guess 10 to 20 minutes in other Monster Hunters. But for Jin Dahad, it's like it's almost like it's an Elder Dragon. I don't know lore-wise if it is, but it feels like it's supposed to be an Elder Dragon, but it's not, and so it's like I don't know. It just I don't know. However, that is the only negative. Everything else is great. Aura is great. Fighting him is fun. He does that cool thing where it's a one shot and it's like I said, raid mechanics, right? And you had to get behind something, and that's cool. You get to interact with everything. So honestly, it's one of these two. I just don't know which one yet. Is the fight? I mean, the fight is fun. I guess it's not that crazy. We're gonna put him in A. We're gonna put him in A because the fight is fun. I don't think it is Rathalos, New Udra, Ajarakan, or Raid Dao fun. Ebony Ogadoran, Guardian Ebony Ogadoran. He's just wild and crazy. My first fight with him was in World, I believe, and I don't know. He's just all right. Nothing too crazy. Put him in C. He's nothing too crazy. I don't know. Because when I do this tier list, it doesn't mean like the Obaduran. I told you I'm gonna butcher some names. Is as easy as like the Quemetris. It's not. But what I mean is just overall fight, like what you have to do. Just the mechanics of it, aura, all that comes into play. And I guess, okay, so Jin Hadad may go to S, and he may go to B. We'll see. This Zuwu thing, it was alright. We already got New Udra, right? And it's one of those things where it's like, dang, I really got to follow that act. This was our first octopus in the game, and then this guy came in very, very late in the fourth quarter, and he just didn't do anything. He was like, you know what I mean? He was kind of just like, he spunt around and did some crazy stuff. He wasn't, I put him in C. He's just not very memorable. I'm going to be honest. Not very memorable, very easy. He didn't do anything that was like, oh my goodness. Especially because like we had already had New Udra, you know what I mean? Arkvold, come on, bro, stop playing. Arkvold was really fun. Actually, is this Guardian Arkvold? Okay, Arkvold was really good. It was one of the best fights in the game. I love the inclusion of him. He doesn't look like, in terms of flagships, I think Nergigante was cooler. I think Magnamalo was cooler. What were other fights were good. I enjoy the fight. He's very fun to fight against. And it's so satisfying when you have like, when he throws that whip and then you have like a shield, like you're using Charge Blade or Sword and Shield or Lance, and you do like a clash. Oh man, that's a fun fight. He's definitely S tier. Zoashia is kind of just like, cool raid mechanics, I guess. But yeah, honestly, I put that in B. You know, it's one of those things where it's like it's an, I don't know if it's considered an Elder Dragon. I think it is, but it's the final boss, and it's. I felt like I felt like that took as long as the Jin Dahad, and that shouldn't happen. That's, I don't know. It's something about either Jin Dahad's mechanics are either too good or too bad. And this one's either too good or too bad. I don't know. It's weird. But yeah, it was just alright. It wasn't anything too crazy. Maybe this could go into A. I might put that in A because it was at least. I can't see it as low as Rumpopolo or Lala Barina. We could put that in A. Yin Koot Koot. I'm going to be honest, man. Yin Koot Koot is like, I'm gonna be biased only because, like I said, my first ever Monster Hunter was on the PSP, and the Yin Koot Koot was like the first monster you fight. Like I think you fight the Velocidrome and then the Bulldrome, but like this was like the first bird Wyvern monster. And the nostalgia just hit me, and he also hits harder in this game. It's interesting. I think he hits harder in this game. It's pretty cool. But at the end of the day, I mean, he's fun though. He is a fun fight. I would put him around the Rumpopolo part. Yeah, I think he's a solid B. He's not as fun as the A's and the S's, but he's a solid B. He's definitely better than the C's and D's and F's. Gyarados is pretty much the same. He has a similar moveset to Cuckoo, except he's poison. He is much weaker in this game. Like they neutered him in comparison to like Generations Ultimate. He in Generations Ultimate, he is doing his flash every 5 seconds, and in that game, you can't hide behind it. It's just an area of effect, and if you're in that area, you get affected. In this game, though, you can hide behind the monster, the Gyarados, and not get affected, which I think is better, honestly, because that's not only is it a counterplay, it makes sense. Like the thing is flashing in front of him. So yeah, but it has a very similar moveset to Cuckoo, so I put him in B. Raytheon. I love Raytheon. I'll always love Raytheon. Raytheon is like Rathalos, where it's like, okay, this is a fun fight. There are things I have to look out for. If I don't want him to do too much crazy stuff, I know exactly where to go. I know get his tail and all this. I really like Raytheon fight. Fulgur Anjaneth. I love Fulgur Anjaneth. That's one of my favorite monsters. His aura is insane, bro. It's like an electric Tyrannosaurus Rex. Like that's one of the coolest subspecies, I guess, in the game to me is Fulgur Anjaneth. I love it. And Rathalos, of course, is A. Just like Raytheon, those are just very good monsters. They're fun to fight. They're dragons. They look cool. It feels like Monster Hunter, right? They're very good at feeling like Monster Hunter monsters. Gravios is an old timer that came back. Man, Gravios is a fun fight. I'm gonna be honest. And now he has the Hyper Beam. He had the Hyper Beam before, but now it's like acts different, the different properties and stuff. And I'm putting Gravios up here, man. Gravios was really good. Belangala, he's B. He's definitely B. He's better than Congalala. Like if Congalala is in C tier, he's definitely in here. Belangalala or whatever it's called. Gormagala, S, of course. It's so fun. Gore, you can't make Gore bad. He's not as strong as he was in Monster Hunter Rise, in my opinion. Tempered Gormagala, in my opinion, is still the strongest monster. I do know, I guess, they tried to make Tempered Arcvolt the strongest monster, but I do think Tempered Gormagala is actually the strongest monster in the game. Canonically or chronologically, Arcvolt does come after him, so you would think the developers were trying to make him the strongest, but I think it is Tempered Gormagala, and it's such a fun fight, and he's such a cool monster. And how they react with like the frenzy stuff, like he brings like a whole new mechanic to the game and stuff. I think that's really cool. And then Arcvolt, of course, this is the high rank version or tempered version of Arcvolt, which is fun. Yeah, it was really fun. We already did Arcvolt, so yeah. But yeah, guys, that's it. This probably went on much longer than it should have. If you enjoyed it, let me know. I wanted to do one for like invincible characters. I want to do some rankings for like, I don't know, stuff. Just like either Monster Hunter monsters or like, I don't know, ultimates from Dragon Ball Fighters or something. Something like that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think and tell me if you agree or disagree with this list. All right, boys. Peace.